Hi, I'm Monique Baldwin. I'd like to welcome you to RedTalk with Dr. Hank Bird. This is Daphine and Linell, and we're going to interview them. Dr. Hank Bird is going to come up and ask them questions about their story, the other side of the story. This book was written by Daphine, and the other side of the story is the inspirational true story of one woman's struggles within herself, her family, her faith, and the justice system after her husband was wrongfully accused of a crime. Here's Dr. Hank Bird.
Hello, I'm Dr. Hank Bird, and welcome to Red Talk, and I am really happy to have this couple here today. They are so special to me, and let me tell you something. As Monique mentioned, the book has been written, and it's called Other Side of the Story. Goodness gracious, by Daphine Jack and her husband, Linell Jack. Why don't y'all just welcome them here, thanking them for being here. Amen. All right. Praise God, great. I tell you what, this book, the story of it is absolutely amazing. And I just want to thank the both of you for coming here today at Red Talk, and I want you to know that the things we're going to talk about are things that are going to touch the lives of other people, because God has given an experiential learning activity in your own lives. This is not theory that you are going to be sharing. I'm telling y'all, this is not theory. This is actual things that have occurred and have, in fact, influenced Daphine to write this book. I want to encourage you to get it. It's called The Other Side of the Story. Daphine, Priscilla, Brown, Jack. All right. Well, I want to start out, since you're the author of this book. First of all, I want to ask you, Daphine, what is it that prompted you to write this book?
Well, as the situation that we were challenged to be in by God, as we were going through it, I was thinking one evening as I was trying to settle down, and I was like, I need to help somebody to tell them about the criminal justice system, and wasn't necessarily thinking of just sharing my story as a whole. And so, because so many people fall by the wayside and don't know what happens within the criminal justice system.
Right.
So I wanted to bring my story, and it wasn't even over yet, but I wanted to, that was the first thought that come to mind to kind of birth what I was wanting to share in the book. And just kind of, so I kept notes. I'm always good at documenting everything I do.
Right.
And so as we were going through, I was taking notes and dealing with my emotional side of it. And so that's how it kind of came about.
Okay, great. Now, I know that you're not here by accident. You're not here only because this is your wife, but there are some things in this book that prompted her to write it, that you may have had something to do with it. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Well, first of all, as a loving husband and a father, those things started by not only by her being a parole officer, but it was on false allegations.
Yes.
So those false allegations ended up writing this book. And this is why it's called The Other Side of the Story.
Wow.
Because was in law enforcement, and now it puts her on the other side by putting her in the system.
Yes. So as Daphine's husband, Linell, you were falsely accused of something.
Yes.
And so this put a whole other dynamic with you. So we can understand why you say the other side of the story. You can hear things on one side. Why don't you help us understand that?
Well, you can hear things on one side, and then of course there's always the other side, and they're saying then there's the truth. So just looking at it, and I kind of took it from the law enforcement perspective, that I'm in my office, minding my business, supervising people who have been in prison, and so they're coming out, and now I'm having to supervise them again to protect the community. and didn't know at that time, my first thought when this came about, that I might have been sleeping with the enemy. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
just putting it blunt.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you know, it drew me in to say, hey, you know, now you're gonna have to deal with the criminal justice system like you are supervising the people who have dealt with the criminal justice system.
Wow.
And that's what placed us on the other side.
Goodness,
And so,
goodness,
yeah.
right. So what I'm hearing, Linell, talking with Daphine, is that you were accused of something, and your wife needed to understand exactly what was happening here. I'm sure that put you in a dilemma of needing to try to convince her, maybe, I don't know, help me understand that.
Well, the department that she worked in, we'll just put it like that, was a department that she did not want to work in. And so when you're in this department, it's dealing with a crime that's sexual. So when you're dealing with sexual crimes, it puts you in a position that people treat you lower than life. It puts you in a position that you can get the highest point to where you're not given fairness, or you're not even going to come out. You're left with a
What other
stigma.
areas that she worked in besides that? I mean, did you deal with other areas?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yes,
I was,
she did.
Okay, you're just using that as an example.
yeah.
I'm using that
Right.
as an example,
Right.
because you working in law enforcement, and as a parole officer, she's already put in a position to look at parolees or her clients as people that's not gonna do right anyway.
Right, right.
So to look at me as her husband and have to face this coming home, she's always asking the question, did you really do this?
Wow, wow.
If you did, just go ahead and confess, so it can all be over.
Right, but the truth was,
The truth was, I did not do this.
wow, wow, that's good, thank you so much. Daphine, certainly with you going through this dilemma, and understanding that here you are a parole officer, and you are on the other side, and now having to represent both sides. What was that dilemma like? I want to share a little bit about that.
Well, how do I put this? It was very tedious. It was hard. It put me in a big defense mode, because I feel like if, you know, people who go to prison, they've committed their crime. And so that was just all it was to it. But what happened during the process, I began to start dealing with, as my clients and new clients would come in, and they would say, you know, I said, well, what did you do? And so they would sit back in the seat and sit up straight and say, Ms. Jack, I didn't commit my crime. I said, well, you didn't go to prison, what you mean? And I wasn't thinking about the fact that they could be wrongfully accused.
Right.
And so, you know, as I get to meet the different clients and changing caseloads, and I was running into that quite often. And so, and I always say that wrongful conviction don't have a color barrier. It's all the way around.
Yeah.
Now, we kind of say, well, you know, the African Americans get it the most hardest, which we can say that too, based on statistics, but at the same time, you know, it doesn't have a color.
Yeah.
And so, but for me to have to be faced with that type of situation, it was able to open my eyes and say, well, maybe he is telling the truth. Maybe he didn't commit it. And so then it put me back in a state of being investigative, inquiring, researching, and what if, and what if, and what if. And that's what drew me to the conclusion, because at the same time, you know, I wasn't worried about him being my husband. I'm here with somebody who might have committed a crime.
Yeah.
And so that's how I kind of dealt with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, that's strong. That's really strong. One of the things I want to ask, as far as your particular situation, did you have to have a court-appointed attorney or did you have to pay for the expenses of this?
I had to pay for the expenses.
Wow, that is huge.
What helped me to pay for the expenses was knowing that I had a job. I also had funds from my reserve. I was also at the time a Navy reservist.
Yeah.
So I also could not go to them and ask them for help because I could have lost my opportunity to retire.
Right. Oh my goodness. I can imagine what that was like. I mean, audience, as we look at this, you know, I mean, think about it. Here's a couple that was carefree, you know, just going about their workaday world, and then all of a sudden, boom, out of the blue, a false accusation is made, and then all of a sudden they're having to go through the criminal justice system. And the thing about it, though, is that you all are pretty blessed because you were able to hire an attorney. Is that right?
Exactly. So yes, we hired more than one attorney, and on more than one occasion in 5 years. That's how long it took.
Wow, wow, that is incredible. That is incredible. Well, we're going to continue this interview with them in a few minutes. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. But I just want to say to us today, we're going to talk a little bit further about this, the criminal justice system, and what's going on, and the things that, I mean, obviously our way of government is not perfect. We understand that. However, it's not supposed to be a system where people are accused falsely of different things, but it's happening all the time. And even those that may have committed certain crimes are being, how could I say, treated in a way where they are being penalized way beyond the actual offense that they did. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you.